This is the Hypothetically Sound podcast,
hosted by Alec, Randy, and Xavier,
where we take a hypothetical look at the world around us,
exploring the what-ifs, maybes, and how comes.
Join in on the unfiltered, raw, and real conversations
as we explore the world around us. Welcome back to Hypothetically Sound. We hope you are having a good day. As always, I am one of your hosts, Randy, and I am joined by the other Alec.
Hey, the other Alec.
The other Alec.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I know like 4 of them.
Oh, that's great.
I actually do, but...
ALEKs?
ALEC?
Yeah, shut the hell up. They ain't as cool as me. C ain't cool.
Yeah, you know, fair enough. You are unique in a lot of ways.
Yeah, unique with a K.
Anyways, we are back with album number 94 on Apple Music's top 100 albums of all time.
Hell yeah.
Untrue by Burial.
Hell no.
If you're like me, and I don't know, maybe if you're like Alec, you're probably wondering who is Untrue or Burial. Well, Untrue is the title of the album. Burial is a UK dubstep artist.
Yeah.
Did you know anything about him before listening to this album?
No, I went into this not knowing what to expect, except for like the small little preview of the album that you get on like Spotify or YouTube or whatever. Yeah. So you know that was it. I didn't know what to expect. I was like, I can tell you, it wasn't anything I could ever imagined. if I had 10 guesses, I would have had every single one of them wrong.
It blew my mind. You guys will find out if that's good or bad. But for y'all that do not know who Burial is, I will give you some information. As I said, he is a British electronic music producer. This was his second studio album, released in 2007. He did the whole thing on a digital audio editing software called SoundForge. That's what he's known for, is doing it on a laptop, essentially, making his own sounds. In the years that follow, so since 2007, Untrue, this album has been viewed as the landmark album in the dubstep genre and in electronic music in general, apparently.
Interesting.
And if that is the case, dubstep is definitely not for me. That's what came out of me listening to this album.
Yeah.
So let's just rip off the Band-Aid to get right into talking about this album. Probably not going to be a long episode for the people listening at home. It's definitely not going to be the 40 minutes that Confession was, but we're going to talk about the notes that we took. Now, I definitely have not listened to this again. It has not appeared on my playlist, anything like that. I didn't write any notes for track number 1, Untitled. Was there a song? I don't remember.
It was Untitled. Yeah, so you did listen to this before me, and you did lower my expectations a lot going into this. It was a 46-second track.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know if I was gonna rate it or not. I don't think I did on my notes. It just felt like an intro to the next track, and it did lead into the next track technically.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't write down a thing, so I must have just treated it as an interlude or an intro, which takes us to what it went into, which is track number 2, Archangel.
Yeah.
What did you think?
It has a weird sound. And I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't prepared for it. To me, it sounded like underground crab people music. And like the worst part is like I could see the vision from this track. I could see what they meant in the description of the album. I didn't read it out, sorry. But I remember the description and reading this description while listening to this, and it's like I can see the vision of what he wanted. But it was 2 minutes long, and it felt like a buildup that never dropped, and I was starting to get anxious. And I wanted more from it. It just wasn't just wasn't there. It was probably like one of the more gentle electronic songs I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's the vision and that's what it's supposed to be, but like I didn't fucks with it a lot. I gave it a 3 out of 10.
I wrote that, you know, I have never been into dubstep and electronic music and EDM. It's not my style. Like, I don't need that endorphin booster that like EDM is known for and electronic music is known for. I just never been needing it. And I said, if this first song is any indication, my mind's not gonna be changed on how I feel about dubstep. I gave it a 4 out of 10, and I think you touched on something that made me dislike this album as a whole in general. Is I see the potential. I see where it's trying to go, and like I can see why people are like, "Oh, it's a movement for dubstep." But like, there's so many points where I'm waiting for him to drop the beat and do something different or do something cool, and he just doesn't. Like, I feel like every track is a tease for a full track that he's just waiting to release at a different date. I don't know if I know you said like you were expecting more from this first song.
Yeah. And everything I pretty much said, I'm just gonna say it now. Everything I said pretty much for the first song is pretty much every song on the album, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me want more. It just like, again, I could see the vision. I could see what I feel like. I could feel what he wanted, but like I just wasn't fucking with it.
Mm-hmm. And then we get to track number 3, which is Near Dark. And as you said, a lot of my notes are very much the same as what I just said in the first one. Like, I'm trying to be objective. I'm trying to keep my mind open to this genre of music. But like, what I'm about to say rings true for a lot of his songs. And I've said this in other songs where like it feels like it's the same thing. His literally each song was the same beat, same like 10 seconds, just looped over and over and over again.
Yes.
And like it's the same backwards, and then he throws in a random noise randomly throughout the song to make it stand out. And I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it another 3 out of 10, man. It blurred into the last track. Like, it sounded super similar as well. Like, that's literally all I wanted to add. Is it sounds similar?
Mm-hmm.
It blurred real bad.
Yeah. We'll go to number 4, Ghost Hardware, and look at my notes. It literally what I just said was my notes, and I didn't look at it. I don't have much to say. Halfway through the song, he kind of had a 10-second beat change. Otherwise, it felt like the same 10 seconds on repeat. I gave it another 4 out of 10.
Yeah. It's a 3 out of 10 for me, dog. My notes for Ghost Hardware literally say it's slightly different from the previous 2, but it still very much feels and sounds the same to me. To the point it's all a blur.
And like, I feel like people who enjoy this genre of music might already know who Burial is and really enjoy him. And I'm not taking anything from you. I don't like it, and maybe I'm missing something to help me understand it. And if I am, please comment and tell me what I'm missing to understand and appreciate his music more. But it is, to me, the same thing, just on repeat. And like, there isn't enough change or uniqueness in the tracks to like get you want to going. Like, at least with like Robin, who was also electric music, like she had a change of pace and ups and downs and ebbs and flows. This Burial doesn't at all to me. And then we get to my least favorite track on the album, the lowest rated song that I have had in this journey so far.
How can you tell the difference?
Track number 5, Endorphin. And and I remember telling you this, like we talk about, we don't try to share enough, but I just disliked it so much I had to get it out. I expected an upbeat song with the name of the title. And I know you're like, oh, it's just the name of the title. No, you don't do EDM and call your song Endorphin if it's not going to get something to get your endorphins flowing, get you pumping, get you going. And then I just get the same sequence of beats repeated for 3 minutes. And they're not even catchy. They're not even like head bouncing or anything like that. And like, I don't know what's supposed to be happening with his music. And I want to give this song a 0, but it isn't unlistenable. Like, if it came on, I'm not running to, if I'm in the other room, I'm not running to turn it off like it is some screeching, howling music. But I did give it a 1 out of 10.
Yeah, again, I gave Endorphin a 3 out of 10. Again, it like all these songs have the same like feeling. I don't want to say it's like melancholy because it's not. It seems a little bit more like forced of sadness,
Yeah.
almost. With like an acceptance to it. I'm trying to be as fair as possible because like I can see why people like it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not for me. This song in particular didn't have like the awkward drums that the other tracks up to this point have had.
Yeah.
I did put in my notes, I feel like listening to this sober may be my issue.
True.
But like, yeah, I don't know, man. A 3 out of 10 is the best I can give it.
Like I said, I would have given it a 0 if it was like any worse. It would have been a 0. If it would have had some high screeching in it, probably would have gave it a 0. We do move on to number 6 on the album, which is Etched Headplate. I didn't mind this track. Shocker. I thought it had a nice mix of bass and rhythmic flow. I would listen to this song again. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
That's pretty fucking neat of you, Ren. I gave it a 3 out of 10. If you can see the pattern here. They all sound the same to me. Even like this one. Like, I don't know what it was. It was very different compared to everything else, and I think like that might have been why you were like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It encapsulate that, like, I feel like there should be more to the song and more given to us, and we were just like, we were teased. He's a little teased, and I don't like that. You know, he teases too much.
Yes,
okay?
agree.
And I wanted to walk away. Like, I don't know, man. The next song is called In McDonald's.
It is called In McDonald's.
Which made me feel like he might have just sat in a McDonald's and did this in 30 minutes and then turned it in.
Yeah.
This song in particular became some weird background music for me because I was starting to like zone out of the album, and I did take a break after this track for like 9 days. I think it was almost a week, but yeah, it was not great. 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I said the only saving grace was it was short and sweet. 5 out of 10. That was literally my notes. Saving grace, short and sweet. 5 out of 10. And then we move to the namesake of the album, Untrue.
Yeah, the title track, man.
Yeah.
I fucking hated this. So I will say I did not give anything lower than a 3 out of 10. This was a 3 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Again, none of this is not unlistenable. And you could have it in the background, but like if I'm paying attention, it's getting skipped.
Yeah.
This is a 6-minute track. And it feels like it just loops a 30-second audio clip.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels like he did 30 seconds of audio and it said, fuck it. Loop, 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 loop. Up for 6 minutes. And god damn, that was awful. And this is the track I came back to.
Yeah.
I think this might be my least favorite track because of like the suffering I went through.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's a loop, it feels never ending. It feels never ending. and you don't get what you want. Like, you just want a little bit more. Like, I feel like all these could be like so good if he just gave a little bit more, man.
Yeah.
I feel like he's getting to the peak, the apex of like what the song can be, and just stops, and like it just doesn't rise up anymore.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about True? I'm sorry.
No, it's. I had to ask you after you went back and you listened after you were done with the album about this song, because in my notes I said it's an interesting thing, and it's not an interesting thing. He has a moment in his track where he is offbeat, like he's on beat with everything, and then there is a noise that is offbeat and distracting. And since he loops his music, it starts being on. It's offbeat, but since it's looped, it's on beat because it happens at the same time over and over again. But it like I caught it instantly, and I'm like, I don't like that. It's like listening to an orchestra with a trumpet player who hits the wrong notes every like reprise of a certain section. And I just didn't like it, and I didn't like this song. I gave it a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, that's super fair.
And then we move to track 9. We're almost done with the album. It's called Shell of Light. I said I kind of like this beat. It kind of slowly picks up. It kind of has an ebb and flow to it. And it kind of has a nice switch up towards the end of the song. But overall, it's just not a noteworthy song. Nothing I want to listen to again. 4 out of 10.
Yeah. Again, I took days off this album, so this was coming back, right?
Mm-hmm.
I put in my note, much more the same before. If you told me I had listened to the song previously, I would have believed you. I had to go back and check to make sure this wasn't the same song because it sounds so similar.
Yeah.
I put rough 3 out of 10. I did not like this. This was a rough 3 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that one was I thought the other one was my least favorite. This one might have actually been my least favorite. I didn't normally I go back and I listen to these tracks, or I listen to them kind of in the background while we talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing that with this one. So
no, and like even like I have a decently good memory when I like put my mind to it to remember certain things. I don't remember this album. I'm not gonna lie to you, and like I'm not listening to it in the background while we're talking to remind myself because just how much I disliked it. I really, really struggled to go through it. Like Alec was in the Discord while I was listening to it, and I had to mute myself a bunch of times because I was bitching about the album and I didn't want to influence his take on it. But there were some tracks that I just had to say stuff about. And this, like you said, Shell of Light and Untrue were 2 of the tracks that I was just bitching about. Then we moved to track number 10, which is called Dog Shelter. And I think
it's dog water, bro. 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 10. And I said something that's true. I think is true about his album. A lot of his music is very cinematic, but not in a cinematic like I want this in Matrix or action packed. I said it's cinematic in the sense that I could see it being used in an IMAX movie about the ocean or volcanoes or penguins, where the music doesn't matter. It is just instrumental to prop up what you're seeing on the screen. Because his music doesn't sound bad. Otherwise, I would be giving it a lot of 1s and 0s. It just doesn't do anything for me in what I understand dubstep to be. And for this album to be in this list of top 100 albums of all time over other artists, I'm expecting more than what I got. And for it to be so influential, apparently, I am very disappointed. Yeah, so I gave it a 4 out of 10. And then we moved to Homeless, which I think isn't my highest rated song, but I think I might have liked this one a little more after like listening to it and doing a little research. He's known for being grittier, darker EDM, or not EDM, but dubstep and electric music guy. And this song was gritty and dark. I thought it was an okay track. I would listen to it again. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
it was a change of pace for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It was much needed. This is a 4 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
This is the highest rated song I have.
Yeah, I was like, it's pretty high for you.
It was a nice refresher from what I listened to up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
It gave a little bit more of what I wanted from the others. But like I was so jaded by it, then I know for a fact that the scores are probably a little bit low because of it. But yeah, it's
Mm-hmm. So that's that's the whole thing about the whole album. It's like it wants you to feel some way. If it becomes overwhelming or just depressing, like it's not going to get better the more you listen to it. So we got 2 tracks left. We move to 12, which is called UK. This feeds into what we were saying earlier, where he is teasing something awesome. Like I felt like this entire song was a build up to a beat drop, and finally we're gonna get that party music. We're gonna get something hype, something cool, something different, and then the song was just over. And I gave it a 4 out of 10.
I gave it a 3 out of 10, obviously. I said it ended before I fully grasped what it was. Minute 40 of noise. 3 out of 10.
Yeah. And then we move to the last song called Raver. It's track number 13. I didn't take notes on the song in particular. This is just my notes on the album. As I listened to it, I tried to get over my bias of not liking dubstep and electric music, and I tried to just listen to the music. And if you're listening still at this point, you heard everything I had to say about the album. I just couldn't get over my own expectations, and it being on this list of great music. And I gave this song a 3 out of 10, and I gave the album in general a 4 out of 10. Probably should be lower, to be honest. But one track, I gave a track a 6 and a couple 5s, and so that bumped up the median of what I rated the album.
Yeah. The ending track for me, 3 out of 10. As Randy said, yeah, you've heard me repeat myself a lot. Overall opinion on my first listen, I can't recommend out of 10, bro. It's
that's
like
a no for me, dog. Out of 10.
Yeah, it's a 3 out of 10. Obviously, like it's just not great to me. Again, I understood the vision. I saw what he was trying to do. It just didn't vibe with me the way I was hoping it would because it sounded cool. I can see people that do like it. I just don't know about like revolutionary or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it's on the list. It's a very curious pick for me.
Yeah.
They were okay enough to warrant like background music if you're doing busy loud shit. Like vacuuming.
Yeah.
Vacuuming loud enough with the sound on like low. Right. Otherwise, like I just can't. I personally can't recommend it.
Yeah. I do not think it should be on the list. I've said other ones should be late for like I see why they could be where they're at. I don't see why this one is on the list in general. I just didn't enjoy it for a second. And unfortunately, it's not even my lowest album that I've listened to. And like, it's not even biased things. There's albums that I've listened to so far that I didn't think I like and I really enjoyed. And there's albums that I thought I would enjoy a lot that I didn't like. This one I didn't think I would like, and I didn't like it in the end, even with an open mind and heart and soul. But that's the end of this episode. I have nothing else I want to say about this album. If you like Burial, please give me examples of work that is supposed to be really good. Leave it in the comments.
If you like Burial, you don't have to comment anything for me. I don't want to hear your opinion.
I'm shout out for the people of this episode.
Bro, shout out to all the people that haven't listened to this album. Like, not to be mean. Again, I'm just being honest to myself. you can give it a try if you want to. But yeah, you can't recommend out of 10.
And with that, we thank you very much for listening to this hate fest that end up happening. We hope that you guys enjoyed some of it, maybe laughed a little bit, maybe even turned it off earlier. Who knows? And sometimes this type of episode is going to happen. But we thank you anyways. You know where to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, the whole 9. And until next time, have a great day.
Yeah, have a great day.
Deuces.
I feel mean. Like, it was bad, but like, I'm sure people like it.
True. Thank you for listening to Hypothetically Sound. We hope you enjoyed the episode. All episodes can be found at hypotheticallysound.podbean.com, as well as on Apple, Spotify, and Pandora. For full unedited video versions of the podcast, please visit us at youtube.com/hypotheticallysound.